What did you overhear when someone didn't know you understood their language? I met Tiago at this international street food festival downtown about 8 months ago. I was there with my roommate Bridget trying all these different foods, and he was working at this stand selling these amazing pastries from his home country. He had this really charming accent, and TBH I thought he was super cute right away. So anyway, after a couple months of dating, Tiago was basically living at my place full-time. It happened so gradually that I didn't really question it. The first red flag was that he never offered to contribute to rent or utilities. When I finally brought it up around the 3-month mark, he said, "I still have no stable income. You know how hard it is with a visa." Which I understood. I really did. Immigration is complicated, and I wanted to be supportive. But then I started noticing little comments he would make. At first they were subtle. "You swear a lot. Women from my country don't talk like that. The way you dress is very American. You're so loud when you laugh." I didn't think much of them at the time. Just cultural differences, right? But they started getting more frequent and more critical. He'd say things like, "You wouldn't survive with us back home. Women there know when to be quiet." Or he'd make faces when I'd talk during dinner with his friends. Fast forward to this past weekend. Tiago told me his parents were in town visiting for a few days and he wanted to have them over for dinner. I was actually excited to meet them, but then he started giving me all these instructions. "Please don't joke too loudly. Don't be rude, be polite and respectful. My mother is very traditional." I spent the entire day cleaning the apartment, cooking 3 different dishes, and generally stressing about making a good impression. By the time they arrived at 7 p.m., I was exhausted, but putting on my best smile. His parents were polite. That's the best word I can use. They smiled and nodded at me, but something felt off from the moment they walked in. Almost immediately, they started speaking to Tiago in their language. And not just for a quick exchange. They spoke their language for like 80% of the evening, even when sitting across from me at the dinner table I had spent hours preparing. Halfway through dinner, I realized I had forgotten to get cream and lemons for the dessert I had planned. I told Tiago I needed to run to the corner store real quick and would be right back. They all nodded and continued their conversation as I grabbed my keys and left. When I returned about 15 minutes later, they seemed to switch topics abruptly. The rest of the evening went the same way. Me trying too hard, them speaking their language, Tiago being weirdly different around his parents. They left around 11 p.m. and I was so drained I just went straight to bed. The next morning I was making coffee when I suddenly remembered something. A year and a half ago, my laptop and some jewelry were stolen from my apartment during a break-in. After that, I installed 2 small security cameras, one in the living room facing the front door and one in the kitchen. They're not hidden or anything. They're just regular small cameras on shelves that I got from Amazon. So I grabbed my phone and pulled up the security app. I found the footage from last night around 8:30 p.m. when I had gone to the store. I couldn't understand a word they were saying, but I could feel the mood change through the screen. His mother was speaking more animatedly, gesturing toward the kitchen where I had been cooking all day. His father was nodding and occasionally laughing. And Tiago was smiling and nodding along with whatever they were saying. I didn't know what to do with this footage since I couldn't understand them anyway. But then I remembered this online service that can transcribe and translate audio. About an hour later, I had a transcript in English. And guys, I wish I had never translated it. His mother had said, "She's not very pretty, but she cleans up after you well." She laughed and added, "Well, she knows her place at least." His father replied, "She's like a free housekeeper. Smart choice, son." And Tiago, the man I've been supporting cooking for, cleaning up after for months, he laughed and said, "She's useful. The apartment is always clean. Food is always ready. American girls are so easy to manipulate. Just make them feel bad about asking for anything, and they'll give you everything." There was more, much worse. But I can't even type it out without feeling sick all over again. They mocked my appearance, my job, my apartment, even the food I had spent all day preparing, all while eating at my table in my home. Because here's the thing, Tiago has no idea that I know everything. He continues to smile at me, thinking his little game is still going. But tomorrow, when he comes home, a surprise will be waiting for him. The full story is on the channel, link below.